You hitting the button?
I hit the button. Welcome to Harley Designs.
Welcome to the Scale Builders Guild, episode 97.
97.
97.
We're honing in on 100.
It's amazing that it's lasted this long.
I know.
It doesn't seem like a thing.
I mean, it's a thing. It's not. I don't.
We've made it. It's a thing.
Exactly. Better get working on next season's thumbnail.
Oh shoot, that's coming up. I have to do that for episode 105, right?
Yeah.
Did
we change it 52 or 53? I don't know.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't either. I agree. So,
am I using the right mic? Yes.
Am I using the right mic? I believe so. You sound fine on my end.
You sound fine on my end too. Matt, your sound sucks. Well, restart your stream.
Blame it on someone else. We were just having this discussion because no matter what.
Maybe I'm just peeking. I could just be peeking out.
Peekaboo?
Peekaboo.
I really enjoy this show.
That's the right mic.
Who's on first?
Sounds loud and all kinds of junky. How about now? No. Sounds like a crappy laptop. Hang on.
Did you turn the mic?
How about now?
See what that does for you. Alex has no audio on his mic, but that's okay because he's not on the show.
Overmodulation, they're saying.
I don't even know what that means.
It's not. I don't even know what that means either.
Oh, okay, good. I was like, man.
Maybe I'll turn off NVIDIA broadcast. Oh, I know why. Hang on a second. Hang on.
The wrong source on OBS.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
Of course. So,
how about now?
I'm sure that fixed it, even though there's no difference.
I bet you that's probably better.
Your episode of
Test 1, Test 2,
Sibilance. Good episode. I liked it. So much to do. So many G's.
Man.
Hey, did you know that that's a Comanche, pretty much? It's not a...
Is this how we're starting?
It's called a Comanche. You're such a stickler for like, technically they didn't make this model of Land Rover in that body style. So it's not this one that you're saying. It's a version of my own. So people are basically no, that's a Comanche, Matt. It just looks like a JK or JL instead of an XJ.
That's a JL, but that's a Comanche. No, it's not.
No.
It's not.
I can just see you on the other side of that, not replying while your fingers are just trying to type the letter. You're just trying to hold them off the keyboard as you're.
That's why I let Rebecca do all the commenting now. She just says nice things like "Thanks for the tip," or "Cool, didn't know that."
Which is a true statement, probably.
More true than you know. But you know what? A little bit of product knowledge and she gets right on top of stuff. Because I'm always like, that's not what I meant when I said
I know. I have such a hard time too. So but those bodies are looking good.
You forgot to tell people where to check in from.
Oh yeah. ASL. Just
kicking it old school.
That topic came up on Friday night with Nicole. And I said ASL. And she's like, yeah. And she's like, American Sign Language? Like, no.
Definitely not.
It was, she's like, yeah, we didn't have a computer in the house then. Like,
no, Gringo Bandito goes, that explains the right on I got on the response to my comment today. No, that was me. I remember that one. That was me. Oh man. So great. Yeah, there's been it was a significant amount of progress that I
Yep.
wasn't actually fully anticipating. So that was kind of good. When I first started, I was like, I don't know what I'm going to talk about for 5 minutes, let alone what did I go on for?
23,
20?
22, 23. It was a great episode.
23 minutes. Yeah.
I'm liking the longer episodes on this series, especially since there's only one of us doing it a week. It got to be double long.
Exactly. You gotta get the extra length.
Yeah, exactly. So,
and actually it worked out pretty well because there were a lot of things that happened this week, and I'm pretty happy with the progress.
You didn't talk about anything for all that long. You just like, there's this, I did this, and I did this, and we're working on this, and like there's a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah, and while it's not as business technical, that's what I like to call what you do.
Business technical, yeah. Like
business
I wear
technical.
A tie, but it's it's like, to the.
I went to community college. You went to the technical college, which is probably more true than. Did you go to University of like
Nebraska,
Kansas City, Nebraska? Okay, Nebraska.
Yes, Nebraska.
Go
Huskers.
Yeah, go Huskers.
Corn Huskers. There you go.
Go corn binders. So, what was I saying? I don't remember now. But
it wasn't so technical in that way. But
yeah.
You still did some tech though. You still did a little bit of how-to talking.
A little bit of how-to talking, and a lot of pointing to. You should watch this video if you want to know how to do that thing.
And then another guy did a video on this one, and then go watch somebody else's stuff. He'll tell you.
Watch this. I don't care about. I can't do it.
I was even thinking. I was just like, you'd said it so many times. Like you point to the little button on your wall, and I'm just like, man. I was like, I guess I could. What do I need to? Trying to watch my video in my head. I need to point over here, right? Yeah. Like
click on this thing. Click on the dumpster.
Yeah.
Yeah. Click on the dumpster.
I was just like, man, you got that perfect button to remind. I just need to dumpster it. Like it's in the dumpster. Go check the dumpster video and. Dumpster videos from now on.
You know that's why I put the dumpster in the opener.
I loved that you put the dumpster in the video. For one, it's one of my favorite things.
And it's what I think of your comp trucks.
And I 100% knew where your mind was when you put it in there. Like
yes.
Like
I was like, send me some pictures of your trucks, and I think you sent me the picture of the
on
dumpster.
Purpose. Yes.
Yeah, I was like,
send me some pictures of you comping in your trucks. And I was like, this one, dumpster's going.
Absolutely perfect. But yeah, there's been a lot of progress. It looks like a truck now. And it's funny, like I said, I'm not doing a lot of I'm not building things out of carbon fiber, and I was hoping to, but I won't be able to, just because that package is not coming.
Yeah.
Richard and I decided, let's play it by the letter of the law here and not ship dangerous things across the border.
Not even that dangerous. But
it's not that dangerous.
It's got a lot of little symbols on the box. It's like, Yeah. But yeah, you'll just smuggle it across the border in person. That's way better.
I'll drive it across.
Don't just,
If you have anything to declare. I just bought this carbon fiber making kit.
Yeah.
And they'll go, get out of here.
Yeah.
It's okay. Come on in.
Hey, I live over there. Can I get? I'm just trying to go
Larry
home.
said it's okay. But what's great though is that there are little tiny things that I'm learning and applying and putting into practice. Like just today, I was like, I've got these because I printed the TPU fenders.
Yep.
So I'm going to use TPU for the fenders. So flexible, unbreakable. You can do whatever you want to it, and it springs right back.
Amazing.
So we're going to use those, but to glue them on, this body was kind of not meant for comps,
Who'd have guessed it?
Me. And they glue on, and it's a very small kind of surface for how they should glue. So what I was like, you know what? I'm going to plastic weld these back together, not using chemicals, but using heat and some mesh. So I can actually literally drop a piece of a thin piece of mesh, like a screen door or whatever, into that cavity on both sides, and then use a soldering iron to basically melt that mesh right into the joint.
Yep.
So then it becomes bonded.
Yeah,
reinforced
beyond just the shoe goo that you were using.
Yeah, exactly. Because shoe goo or CA, well, CA you definitely don't want to use because it's not flexible. It will just crack and then it'll rip right off.
Yep. And shoe goo is flexible, but better. Not as. Yeah.
Not going to be as.
It's not enough.
Robust. Yeah. So that'll be in another episode.
I do have to say, people were checking in here. Brazen did check in as he actually kind of like he marked himself safe from any leaked releases this week.
Oh, Jesus. You know what? Luckily, everybody was super cool about it because they did not have to be. They could have been as angry and as upset as I was.
Right.
Believe me. I was not in a good state after that one. But after talking to everybody on the phone, because that's what you do when you make a mistake, you own up to that mistake and you tell everybody and you do everything you can to prevent it leaking.
Exactly. You
did the best I could.
You did it.
I did the best I could.
And
but, no more releases that I know of.
Right.
Because I probably won't get to know about them anymore.
Biting his tongue over there. And TGH, thank you, sir. Good to see you back. What's up, fellas? How's the comp builds going? They are cranking.
There's lots of stuff happening, man. Lots of cool stuff.
I'm very excited
right now, but
very excited about. I need to make some serious progress this weekend.
Yes,
for sure.
Because you have a video coming next week.
I do have a video coming next week. So I need to make some progress. I've got some things done, which has been good. Did some more lasering last night. So I went to the audio shop last night to get some lasering done for my second round of prototyping. And it got it done. Took a very short amount of time. But then I was at the audio shop and hanging out. And then we all went to sushi. And then I didn't get home until 10 o'clock.
BSing and stuff,
The blowing people's hair around with stereos and vehicles. So I didn't get home till 10 o'clock.
I can do the same thing with a hairdryer.
So, that was, I didn't get as much done last night as I hoped, but.
Are you going to be carbon fibering this week?
I hope so. It depends on print times and things like that.
Yeah.
I may.
You got your molds made, right?
Well, I got the early forms of the mold. I didn't get done till like 1 o'clock last night drawing. Oof. I may make one of the other molds instead for this weekend, just so that I can get some stuff done. Because the print will be a lot smaller. So.
Oh, good.
I can just print a smaller mold and get some things done, because like the hood one is going to be the largest mold, and you got to print at like 70% infill. And just with the size, I'm like, I may not have enough time to get it done. So.
Right. And you want to print it at a decent quality too, because that's what you're building the piece from. So
exactly.
Quality in, quality out.
Yep.
Dana, the Prusa handles TPU absolutely fine. You just say, I'm using TPU. Put it on the textured bed. Poof. Or splow.
Mm-hmm.
How you like me now?
Kind of like yes, I've got a lot of printing to do, so we're gonna get that fired up. Hopefully tonight I can finalize. I may do a quick slice of the larger mold and just see what kind of time I'm looking at, and if it's absolutely wild, I'm just gonna go to the other one. And move forward. But then at least I can get some actual carbon fiber forging done and have something to show. So
awesome.
They all have to get done anyway. Why not?
Sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
Jason Chilson wants to know, which truck are you most excited about building? And I'm sure that's for both of us. For me, it's Class 1. I think that's going to be... Actually, you know what? I kind of like both of them.
Yeah.
They're both different, and I think that's what appeals. Class 2 is obviously a bit more comp, but Class 1 is still very comp.
Yeah, that's my Class 1 less comp, and I'm going more into the other stuff that I've been missing. So it's like my outlet for all of the fabricating that I've been holding myself back from doing. So that one is definitely there. I'll still do fine. Class 1 is fun, but it's
confidence is key.
Yeah, it'll be. But Class 2, that truck has been built for a while. I still have a lot of things that I plan to get done to it. And actually, this weekend, as much stuff as I said I need to get done, I'm actually going to travel to a comp for Class 2 this weekend.
So you're going to use the truck in its state, throw a cliffhanger on it,
exactly.
And run it.
I'm gonna throw a coat of paint on a cliffhanger, probably Friday night before I leave for the comp Saturday morning. I mean, I can look in the drawer if you want to guess what colors are available.
Orange, dark orange, neon orange.
There's only one shade. Oh, I do have 2 shades of orange. How did I do that?
Moosejaw must have given those to you.
What is TS12? Oh.
I don't have my TSs in this room anymore.
That's why. So I have PS and TS. Both are just orange. Okay. That's why I have 2 different kinds.
Well, for the cliffhanger, you can only use one of those. So
challenge accepted.
I mean, you can use both. One won't stick very well. You should mask off all the areas and use TS on like as a secondary color, and it all just crinkles. Flake right off.
Exactly.
Matt, in your latest video, you talked about doing a lot of sanding on the body. Yes, I did. What happened to smoothing it out with resin? Did that not work as expected? No, it's still going to work just fine. I'm just cutting down on the amount of resin I'm going to need to use. I'd rather sand, get it smooth adjacent, and then do a resin coat. Because even like on the cut lines where I did the bob, stuff like that has to be smoothed out and sanded beforehand. If you throw resin on top of it and cure it, it's still going to be lumpy. There's no way around it. So you got to smooth it out.
Yeah. Yeah.
And percentage of infill, all the body panels on that truck were at 75% infill. So it makes it really super rigid.
Yeah.
Oh. Very, very rigid. Like that's ABS style body. Sure adds a bit of weight, but that's fine.
I have a new cart here in the studio that has my Class 1 and my Class 2, and then I have a spot for another Class 2 block. Because this is what my printer was sitting on. But I've now moved my printer over there, so I've got more space for trucks. And
good. That's exactly what you needed.
I did need that. I agree. Thank you for agreeing as well.
I am acknowledging. I've been considering adding another shelf on top of this shelf.
Oh yeah. See, the reason I did this is because
set of trucks up here.
I added a storage unit in here with like 20 cubbies in it. Like, I don't know, 9x9 cubbies. And that has helped a lot move some things around and all that. And but now it was like it needed to go in the spot where the printer was. So I had to move everything over a little bit. So I feel like I'm in a weird place. Like my table's not right. My camera's like,
everything's weird.
Yeah. Just get so used to sitting in here in the exact same. It was only like 4 inches over, but just like something's off.
Adam Tevin wants to know what my hat said in the video today.
Who asked you that exact same question today?
This ding dong.
I even went as far as, rather than just asking, like screenshot it and I cropped it down and then put it into Google Image to or translate to see, and it had nothing. So I had to just ask.
So that's it's a Japanese dialect for Nihon, which is how you say Japan in Japanese. And it's from the company Nixon. It's only one letter different, which is why they did it. And it's also an homage to the Japanese baseball league.
You're so deep.
That's like Inception deep. So that's what it says, Nihon. Yep.
I feel like you should just have put that.
I didn't say it was an interesting story.
Yeah. I swear. Do you have? I don't have much for mail call this week, but I have a couple of things.
A little bit, yeah. I have one thing. Well, two things technically. Two things. Also, somebody said they worked for Monster and they want to buy this van.
It's unavailable.
Unforsaleable.
It's been spoken for.
No. Ew. Who wants this thing? Nobody. I would love to buy this legendary van.
I still want it. I want it. I'm going to put it right below the Unimog.
You don't get it.
I get it.
You can't have it. No, you don't get it, man.
I get it, man.
You don't like tracks as much as I do. The only person that can buy that, I think, would be Ken Block. And even then, it would require...
Like, I'm not sure if this is you. FaceTime me.
Yeah. What number are you? What number
Darn, wait, no.
Oh, sorry, checks out. I'd like, if he could give me a ride in a car, that would be
like, then we'll call it square.
Maybe.
Did I have the titanium last week? I don't remember if I did.
Yep.
I think I did.
I think you did.
I thought
you had a big box of titanium. Okay, well, I have two things. Do you want me to go first?
Yeah. Okay,
so first thing came last week. It actually came before Christmas, but
timely mail time.
Couldn't show it off until the.
Well, you couldn't show it off, but you decided to. So.
So yeah, I have a Fireteam. It's so fun. I've been watching everybody else's videos, like all the other review videos that are out there. Yeah. And a lot of people didn't get it.
Agreed.
Like a lot of the people in the comments didn't get it.
Yeah.
But a lot of the reviewers were pretty much right on the money. Everything that I said, I felt was pretty much straight on the money. It's a different driving experience than a Mojave. It's not like driving a Mojave at all.
Yeah.
It handles a lot better.
You think that's just the size of the tires then?
No, it's the width and the size of the body in relation to that. I think it actually might weigh less. I haven't weighed the Mojave in terms of the body structure and everything, but I think it probably is close to the same. But it is definitely a different driving dynamic, and it is so fun. It's not a stunt truck and it's not a race truck. It's sort of somewhere in the middle. And with the handbrake and everything, it's cool.
Yeah. No, I mean, it is
cool.
Like people in the comment, the looks of it, like directly for me, the looks of it did not immediately grab me and look for more. I do see where they went for the that Westworld UTV thing. Mm-hmm. It's very clear that was their direct inspiration.
That was some definite inspiration. Yeah.
I just don't like the cage and the fake tweel tire look.
I know
is not for me. It just
when I saw the tweel as well, I was a bit like, that's a little toyish, but they work.
Yeah, and tires and wheels you can change. Blah blah blah.
Sure. Actually, somebody else, there was another YouTuber who did like what wheels and tires might look good on it as well. Did a whole I think he did like a dozen different tires and wheel combos. The best one, Super Baja Ray 2.0.
Interesting.
With the gray wheels.
Yeah.
It looks really good.
Huh.
Really good.
And Mike asking handbrake. The handbrake is good for handbrake slides and handbrake turns and handbrake things.
Yeah.
Everything you would pull a handbrake for in a full-size car. Like, do it in an RC car. Like, that's all. I will. That is awesome. Like, I'm all for them adding that. I thought that was a cool feature when they added it in the Infraction 2.0. Like, all for it.
I put it in my felony. I liked it so much. Gunnar Nissen, thanks very much. If Josh isn't getting it, I want the van. The van's not for sale.
Everything's for sale, Matt.
Everything's for sale. It's not for sale right now, unless you give me $5,000. And even then, it would have to come with a ride in a Ken Block car.
speaking of Team Garage Hack and Brazen Scale, since we were just talking about them several minutes ago, in my mail call this week, I got my Holmes TGH winch.
Yes.
Care of Brazen Scale. Brett.
Well, ooh la la.
Brett.
I mean, he sent me some stuff too.
Brett had one that he wasn't using at the moment. It's still in almost a new condition. Fantastic. So this is cool for class 1. And he also sent me a skid plate, one of his multi-use skid plate, which I don't have a multi-use for right now, but there's always a reason coming up. So, but yeah, got my winch for my class 1. Motor and all that stuff will be sorted before too long.
Cool.
That was my my big score of the week. That came yesterday. So thanks to Brett at Brazen Scale for reaching out saying he had one of those. I actually had a few people reach out, said they had one that they weren't using at the moment. But
I had a couple of those messages too. Dana, one of our mods, he also has a friend. That's the end of the story. He also has a friend who was like, I'm not using one right now. And I was like, you know what? I will buy it from you. So that's on the way. So I've got one too. I'm only going to use that in class 2. I'm going to stick with the reefs in class 1.
Yeah.
I'm very appreciative to Brian. Thank you very much for that. That's amazing. But it's not here yet. So not technically mail call. The other thing I've got for mail call are some
some servo pliers.
Got some servo pliers. So now I can start cutting all these servo wires on my class 2 build, because this thing is a rat's nest. Look at all this nonsense. I'm also in the process right now of printing up a sort of a wire routing thing that will actually screw into the transfer case.
Gotcha. Give you a nice little guide
right on top to give me a nice little guide for all the wires to clean all that up. I'll sleeve them all after I trim them too. So that came. I got them. I got the servo bits from hobbyhobby.com. Hobby. They go, hobby.
They say it with that enthusiasm level.
I think Dave says it with a tiny bit more enthusiasm than that.
That's
if he sees the call ID,
right?
Definitely,
right. That's perfect. I have. Oh, what's the tool called? I honestly don't. I've always just called it.
Servo thing.
Servo.
Mine's just called
servo pin.
2-0 I think it might be on the thing.
Mine, I think, was a Max tool or something like that.
I'm digging through the trash.
But it's even with the correct tools, it's not easy to get those JST crimp tool, servo crimping tool. Yeah, it's something.
Servo crimping pliers, crimping pliers. That's probably
what pliers called. Are you using for servo leads? These are the ones we're talking about.
These ones.
Yeah. So mats are a little fancier than mine. Meaty. Mats are also wire strippers, cutters, butt connector crimpers. Mine are only for the servo pins.
And that would really hurt your lip if you put your lip in there. I
have to use multiple sets of pliers to achieve what Matt has there. And I still don't have butt connector crimpers on these.
I've also got this German tool.
Although I don't. Oh, yes. One of those high quality pieces of kit.
It's terrible.
Those are the ones that come in like basic. Yeah.
Abseriolung.
Where do you get new servo pins? The hobby shops usually carry them.
Hobby shops usually make up their own little bags and sell them.
Yeah, I have a few hundred.
You have a guy.
I have a few hundred bags of them that I was always.
I have a servo wire guy. Yeah,
I was supposed to send some to Alex, but I forgot. But
they have them on A-Main too. There's actually they have an A-Main Protec tool that does this.
There you go.
As well. So Protec crimpers.
Just type
Look for that,
servo
maybe.
plier and it'll probably come up.
Yeah. Start there.
Yeah, it'll probably pop up. But they're nice to have. Like I said, though, they do take practice. And once you do it, give each of the wires individually, give it a firm tug just to make sure.
Just to make sure.
Because you're gonna yank on that as you do at times, and you don't want something to.
Now, Josh, this is a family show.
You don't want it to pull out when that was not the intention. So, there.
It's the last thing. Well, might be. Well,
I'm just saying. If it's not,
it depends.
If that's not your goal, it's just so.
Yes.
But it's a little bit of an art all the way around. Getting the wires cut, stripped the correct length, and then getting each of the pinned connectors crimped at the same length, so that when you put them all back into the new end, they don't have like a little bunch or buckle. It takes some practice.
Plus, you have to know which side to put these in too, because the pin has to go in a certain direction with most of these, because there's a bit of an offset angle to
draft angle.
Draft angle. Thank you. So obviously, while I was in Hobby getting these, I couldn't help myself.
You got the Escort. You got the pre-painted Ford Escort.
I don't even have to paint it. I just build it and it's done.
Yeah. I want it, but I want a clear body so that I can give it to somebody else to paint, of course.
Well, but this means you don't have to. You can just give this to somebody. Finished.
I know.
Redline Trail RC, got to get back to what I'm doing. If you want to actually talk about meeting Ken or any monster stuff, reach out. No chance if you don't try. All right. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Yep, that's...
Ken Block has to personally piggyback.
Yeah. Down the snowboard slope.
And then I want to meet Travis Pastrana too.
Buck Dandy, thank you, sir.
All these things will happen as I'm like, oh, we're done. No, we're not done. I want to meet Travis Pastrana now.
And just my thermos and this.
I don't need anything. I need these.
Buck Dandy. Mats are really fancy and came with jumper cables and a Prius.
What did you say? What was that?
Your very fancy crimper, cutter, butt connector, stripper.
Cables and a Prius. Escort giveaway teaser? Well, I don't know. Oscar, I already answered the question about the hat. You're going to have to go back in time.
Yeah, and get the answer. Because we all wanted to know. Inquiring minds were plentiful.
Yeah, and that was right at the beginning. Almost.
Yeah, that's...
Or someone can explain it in the chat, maybe.
Yeah. It's like something else, but it's one letter different, and it sounds like it, but it's not. And it's like a baseball team.
Japan.
Tell me I'm wrong.
DK for comment of the night so far. Is that Tamiya released yet?
Yeah.
Should hope so. It was in the hobby shop. Oh, crap. Don't screenshot it.
Yeah.
It's like anybody who buys an NFT. I screenshotted it. Speaking of NFTs, let's just talk about this real quick. They're the stupidest thing in the whole world.
Okay.
Don't ever fall for that scam. A group of NFT enthusiasts, let's say, decided to buy an original copy
of the Declaration of Independence.
Close.
Constitution.
Of the novel Dune. But it was like a special edition of the book, and not very many existed. But in their twisted minds, they thought by buying the book that they bought for $6 million that they were buying the complete rights to do whatever they wanted with said novel.
Okay.
They were buying a book. They bought a book.
A book. Yes.
Which does not give them any rights to do anything.
Right.
So, but they're like, yeah, we're going to develop an animated series. We're starting optioning it. We're looking at it. It's like,
nope.
You can't do any of those things. They thought, yes, exactly, DK. They thought that they owned the copyright because they bought the book.
Yeah.
This is why NFTs are stupid, because the people who are buying them are stupid. Segue.
Yes.
I'm starting my own line of NFTs.
Exactly.
So if you'd like to purchase some GIFs of my face.
Every week. Well, it was a good run. Episode 97. It was.
We always have something positive to say, though. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Oh, Dave's in here now. Hi, Dave. You missed me talking all about this store that Hobby. Sorry, I meant Hobby. Oh, to make it worse, they bought the book version of a Dune screenplay for a movie that was never made. What a bunch of clowns.
I swear.
Oh boy. All right.
We have a lot to get done still, and
do we?
We do. What are we at for days? Like 81 days, 80 somewhere in there. 80 days.
Oh
left.
God, are you talking about the comp builds? I don't want to.
That's all I can think about.
I'm nervous.
I know.
I'm nervous. I'm not actually. I'm not. I think I'm in good shape. My trucks look like trucks this week.
I know. I was like, you're watching yours already. I was like, shh. I was like, man, both of those look like trucks. Like, ugh. Had me concerned.
How did he do it?
I know. I don't know.
It's not like him.
Slightly worried.
But don't worry. Like I said in response to your comment, I'm not to worry. I'll spend like 50% of the time staring at them from now on.
You do have all of the time coming up where you like this week I sanded 2 bodies for a total of 68 hours.
I should be sanding right now.
Yeah, just like, that's a good talk. I agree. Here's what I got in the mail.
Oh yeah, cool.
Yeah, that's man. I'm excited to get back to work on it tonight, but I definitely feel like I've missed some progress for the last 4 or 5 days, 3 or 4 days at least, and that's cool.
Most of the stuff that I did really came together on the day of filming. I
forgot actually that I felt like I hadn't got anything done, but then I remembered that I spent a good amount of time this weekend working on the cage work for the titanium. Since I'm going to be building out titanium, I needed titanium brackets and things like that, and I spent several hours this week designing that all up and sent it to be laser cut, and then paid a hefty bill to have it laser cut, and they shipped today. So
wow, that's amazing.
And they're just in Reno. I could have them tomorrow.
That laser must be running nonstop if they can get it out to you that quickly.
Yeah. So
I hope they have more than one.
Yeah, I think they do.
They've got 2.
So yeah, I could have titanium stuff. I could technically be starting to work on cage stuff soon.
I'm hoping to reprint the cab and the cab back for C2.
Yep.
I might actually hit print as soon as this is over.
Nice.
Let it run overnight. And then I'm going to start cage work.
Yeah.
For C2 because it kind of ties the whole truck together.
Yeah, it really brings the room. It
really ties the room together.
Name of that cutting site again: Send Cut cutSend.com.
Not cut, send, cut.
Right. And then
that's a different site.
There's also Oshcut, OSH cut. And I think they have similar pricing. Both of them have nice interfaces. Oshcut doesn't do titanium though. So that's why I ended up going to Send Cut Send. And they're literally just an hour and a half or 2 hours from me. So it's
a no-brainer.
No, yeah, exactly. But not to fear, I have plans on how I expect to overcomplicate the hell out of cage construction as well.
I told you what I was thinking of doing, right?
What's that?
Well, I was going to design it thanks to your STL Sunday, by the way, because if you guys want to design, I'm sure you're not going to do it all the time, but if you guys want to learn how to design a cage in 3D, that episode is the one to watch. He walks you through it mostly. Does a really good job. But that's what I'm going to do. And then I'm going to print all of those pieces separately in resin probably. So then I know exactly how big or how many cuts I have to make or where the bends are. It's just sort of like having a nice model of it before I actually do it, so I don't waste material.
Right. I've always, in the past, I've made drawing files of each of the tubes that I've done so that I had like a paper template. But honestly, with how cheap 3D printing and like, I could 3D print this stuff just as well. I'm just like, yeah, okay. Like
that'll work. Yeah. Hey, Nash is here from TWS.
I saw Nash.
Hi, Nash.
You're popping in the chat too. Yeah. I watched most of your TWS stream on Saturday.
It's a fun little truck, man. I've got it all done. I've mostly got the CMS figured out too, without instructions.
CMS comes in the kit, but
you get all the pieces for it. It doesn't come it doesn't come with the instructions for it yet. I think they're going to add that in as a rolling change. But yeah, went together pretty well. Much better with Nash's help, of course, and another SBG forum member was on there too. I've probably overpowered it for now, just to see if it would fit.
Yeah, why not?
It does, yeah. And I've actually got the body cut out, and I won't be able to paint because it's a million degrees below zero here. But I do also have a hard body option for it too.
Which one?
Richard resin rotocast me a Toyota Blizzard a million years ago, and it's been sitting in my collection. So got one of those.
Huh. Well, that would be interesting. What does that look like? I'm
funny you should ask, Josh.
I'm slightly interested in this.
Let me get it out.
Mike J. So will this be a $10,000 C1 rig after supplies and third-party cutters? I mean, I think that it will definitely be the most investment that I've ever put into a build. This was a real thing?
Yeah, it was made by Daihatsu.
I thought you said Toyota.
Yeah, they rebranded it as a Toyota.
Okay.
It was a real thing. And Richard rotocast it. Look at that.
205.
Mm-hmm.
What does that body weigh?
Don't worry about it.
I'm
not comping with it.
I'm just. Why can't I think of that word?
You're just
curious. Jesus, couldn't think of curious. I was just curious based on rotocasting.
It's probably like a pound.
Oh, that's not that bad.
Maybe. No, it's not that bad.
Servos that weigh that much.
Anyway, this is a project definitely for the summer because I am not going to start cutting resin inside.
Oh, yeah?
No.
Okay. Never.
That would be horrible.
Really? Okay.
For my body, yes.
Well, you know.
My lungs.
Aren't you just Mr. Safety?
Yeah. Anyway, that's going to be a
I
fun
missed
little
a
truck, I think.
Squints Palladorus. I missed that. Sorry, sir. This one time at the hobby shop, I sold an SCX6 a week before the release date. I thought they had released it.
A week?
Yeah. Maybe
How would that even be
maybe
possible?
he's just mocking you.
He might be joshing me a little bit. Yes, Video, I was munching on a meat stick. I'm 2 in. I've got some more to get through here, but God, these are good.
They are good. That is why
Does the
mine
wheelbase
have
fit?
been gone
Yeah,
for
it does.
weeks. I do have
I ration.
gluten-free angel turds.
None of that sounds good.
That's what Nicole's family has always called those little like dry type cookies that you see around the holidays. Thank you.
Paint indoors like Josh.
Hear that when you're done.
Okay.
I had text Nicole to make me more green tea. So, you know.
Sorry, I have some questions I haven't answered
Okay.
here. Redline. I don't think you're allowed to put links in the chat.
Yeah, it will knock
sorry.
that out.
You can DM me though on Instagram.
The meat sticks Matt is eating are from Satisfied Jerky. They're the new teriyaki ones. They are amazing.
They're so good. I'd like you know what I'd like to see? The mango habanero in a meat stick.
I would be on board for that.
Yeah, me too.
We're
product people.
Gluten-free cookies and green tea? What have we become as a society?
No, what has Josh become as a human?
I moved to California. Got a gluten allergy and
What are you talking about?
This hat is so uncomfortable to wear because the man bun is just mashed down back here. But I do it for the videos. So
Jesse wants to know if I scaled the body in Prusa Slicer. The Jeep body, no, that's the size it comes in. It's more 10th scale than it is 9th scale. You could scale it up to 9th scale if you wanted. It's like 0.87 or something. I can't remember exactly.
Alex, damn it, people! Can we get habanero things without mango?
I would like even like a cayenne pip. That would be good too. There's been another murder.
We don't fruit the beer. Josh, is your tongue pierced yet? Brian.
They're killing you today. That's great. Brandon Coffey has a good question about classes. Would you or Josh be interested if, say, Class 1 or a new class was made that didn't allow flat rail chassis?
Yes.
Yeah, I would be.
Well,
I'd like to go back to that. A nice C rail or box chassis rail.
Yeah, that I wouldn't want a new class. I don't think that's good for.
No, don't add another class.
Yeah, but if C1 went to
rules.
that, yes, all for it.
Yeah, because I mean, basically, the only difference between a Class 1 and a Class 2 right now, in terms of what the flat rail guys are doing,
is the
angled skid,
yep.
and the shock hoops have to be attached to the rails, not part of the rail.
Yes, I see what you mean by attached. They have to be fastened mechanically or welded.
Yeah, you can't just...
yeah, meaning that it can't be like a flat rail. I'll use my brazen scale here, for example.
Yeah.
This is my brazen scale C2. And you can see that the shock hoops are just a part of that rail.
Yeah, you can't use
same
this
with that
Class
TGH
1.
Sherpa there. So that's why this can't be a C. And this also has the angled skid.
Right. So it's like it's angled. And it's sort of hard to see, but imagine, if you will, it's always going to tilt you forward.
Yeah.
Tony CCXRC went, Matt wants a tracks only class. That would be awesome.
So But I would be, of course, fully on board for that, just because I think that Matt and I may have had a private conversation today about the whole, like, this is one reason why scale comping is stupid. Because you can basically build a very disguised, but basically a comp rig with a body that meets the rules, but is absolutely unscale and cut in a way that looks terrible, but meets the rules. And if you're competitive, then that is the way that you should go. However, it looks dumb and people shouldn't be your friend. No. I'm kidding.
That was the gist.
I'm kidding. I don't necessarily feel that strong. I do feel that strong about it in some ways, but I don't as well, because I think that people in scale are the reason that scale is still so popular, because they self-correct. Because it does this. This isn't new. This whole, like, people call them like belly draggers and all that. I'm like, for one, that's a really old term that we used to use. Like, for one, they call them belly draggers. I'm like, well, that's not even what these are. They're not. Like, if you want to see belly draggers, go look at 2008 belly draggers. Like, we called them that because the belly almost drug while it drove. Like, so. Yeah. Like,
there's a big difference. There is a big difference between what's happening now and what happened before originally, like comp crawlers. So, like, in the XR10 and the Shafties and all those things were really popular. That was comp crawling, and it's almost like there's kind of been this like circle where it's all about performance, and it becomes all about performance, and then it meets again. And we're just doing what we already did.
The problem with comp crawling is that there's only so much. So it was like, comp crawling is what it was. Honestly, when we started comp crawling, they basically looked like our scale trucks. Because for one, we wanted trucks that still looked like trucks.
It to be scale.
And then we all started getting really competitive. And certain things became legal and not legal. Like, we had, like, back in the day, early, we had tube chassis. We called them tubers. You got a tuber? Like...
Y'all running a tuber?
Not one of them good tubers. Like, fucking clever names. But you either had a tuber or you had a TVP, twin vertical plate.
Twin vertical plate.
But then someone came up with the idea. Can't remember who did it first. T1E was definitely like the ones to kind of like start making it popular. And T1E was ran by Silas Swaim and Mike Rosenthal out of the South. And they made what was called the moon buggy. And it was basically a TVP chassis, but with a cab on the top that met the tuber rules, because tubers could be smaller because of like their rigid thing. They don't move around like a hard or like a Lexan body. So like you can be smaller. So they met those. And then from there, things started getting way less scale and just more and more towards performance, and to the point where things had to be super lightweight, and all like they're just these little, like, if you look at 2.2 MOA cars now, like, they're robots. They don't look anything like a real vehicle.
They're not.
But there was no scale aspect still in that to correct the path back to fun. Now they're super lightweight. They can be fragile. They don't look like anything, but they're super capable. Now,
and what I'd love to see happen. I think this would be amazing and hilarious. And obviously, I don't want this to happen, but I'm waiting for somebody to go, you know what? What if I put the motor on the axle?
Tesla does it. It's scale. If I just put a Tesla body on it, then it's scale. And then it's like my Tesla body got cut, and then it's and then
and the body is this big.
So
the axles are way out front. I mean, like, it's just
right. And
I would love a Class 1 C-channel rails. That would be amazing.
Yeah.
West Desert Wheeler. I bought my first MOA. Should show up tomorrow.
I saw that. Where'd you buy that out of, Logan? Ding dong. Like, it was. You bought it like Costa Rica or something. I can't remember. But the nice thing is, like, as comp crawling went did that. It peaked at a certain point, probably around 2012 or 13 is when it like really peaked. And the best thing is that scale kind of started around like, not started, but like became this mass market thing with like the SCX10 around like 2009-ish, if I remember. And it was starting to grow in popularity. But mainly it was like people who were just kind of driving around. Like, who's going to want to do that? You're just going to go drive in the woods like a weirdo? Dumb. Like,
don't let that guy near your kids.
But so like, and then scale started kind of exploding as the wane of the comp crawling, was happening. And then all of a sudden people were like, comp crawling's little and no one's doing it hardly anymore. And the guys with scale trucks are like, I kind of want to compete at something. We should make some rules.
Yeah, is there a way we could do this?
So then, this scale rules thing came up. And I remember like when this was new and I was arguing at the time about, well, for one, how dumb scale comp crawling was, because with scale, like, it's still dumb. I stand by everything that I said then. I do dumb things all the time, though. So the nice thing is that, like, as people make these trucks that look ridiculous and all they want to do is compete, there's still people who'll be like, cool, I still want to compete too. I don't care about that thing, though. I'm still going to build something that looks cool.
Yeah, I want it to look like a truck.
And those people still want to compete. That is still why scale comp, that is the reason that scale comp crawling exists still and is still cool, even though it's stupid.
Yep. Agreed.
Come join us.
I
have fun with us.
Yeah, but to take C1 back to a much more scale-ish kind of thing, that would be kind of neat.
Yeah.
Things you'll never see happen, though. It'll never be a mandatory hard body. They'll never do that.
Right.
Just because you have to make it accessible for people.
Agreed.
Right. There's a fine balance. You don't want to seem elitist and you don't want to make it impossible for people to enter. Like, you want people to be able to go, oh, that sounds really fun. I want to try that. What do I need to get? Go get this and glue some firewood to the roof.
Right. It's, really, you can buy trucks that you can take out of the box and then go compete. It's like, and you could do that before too. It's just like, it's not going to be all that.
Right. Exactly.
So
he bought that thing in Puerto Rico.
That's what
Puerto Rico.
So yeah, comping is an excuse to get together with like-minded people. I agree. I'm always for that.
Oh, yeah.
But usually, like,
the social
get-togethers or big events that are not specifically comp crawling are so much larger.
Yes.
That,
That's right. Because people, I think people function better with fewer rules. Axial Fest is great because they have little side things.
Oh, sure.
Where you want to race your Yetis. I mean, we don't do that anymore. Really? There's still a Yeti class?
Yeah. I think it's called an IFS class. Because you can...
Okay, all right.
But still.
Yeah. But, I mean, you can go there and you can compete in those little events with your axial stuff. Or you can just head out to the trails. Yep. And all you have to do is have an axial-based truck. It doesn't even have to be fully axial, according to what I just learned a few weeks ago.
Because, I mean, that only happened like 3 years ago. But...
well, I haven't been in 3 years. Tim, hi Tim, Small Factory said, wish Sorka would push Class 0. I don't disagree. I would like to see them do that too, but I think the people, and I don't mean any disrespect when I say this, but I think the people who are running Sorka aren't so scale minded.
There's some in there, but even the ones that kind of are still comp people.
Exactly. And at the end of the day, Class 0 isn't really a comp.
Right. Class, and honestly, I'm not. I have zero care about Class 0.
Yeah, that's not for Josh because he doesn't like putting a man in his trucks. And his interiors don't have steering wheels that aren't made of craft foam. So I don't even want to see it. Don't get it out here. Don't get it. I would be surprised if it was ever officially recognized. I'd be pleasantly surprised if it was, but I don't see it happening.
I don't think that it's needed
just,
either. It's another class to run and do, like.
It's already a lot to do 3 classes.
Yeah, it's already a lot. So I don't think that.
And I would like to see it, but I don't think it's going to happen. I think if you want to do class 0, that's something you do after. After all the men are done.
Yeah, I was gonna say class 0 usually happens at those events. Still, they're just like, yeah, the nerds are playing over there.
How many rollovers have there been? None.
Don't worry. Everyone's super worried about breaking off their CB antenna on it. Like,
you get 1,000 hand of gods before you lose any points. Fun fact, I ran the half track in class 0 one year.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
How did that work though? Because that doesn't have a licensed tire on the back.
Oh yes, it did. They're not even tires. They're just tracks.
I mean,
don't worry about it. It was fine.
So, yeah, that either way, like I'm gonna have I have fun competing regardless. I have more fun though building trucks. So no matter what, I'm gonna build a truck and go drive it. And
for me, it's definitely the fun of building first, and then the fun of seeing people and having a few chuckles second.
Yep.
And then third is the actual competition. I'll take it seriously. I mean, heck, I printed out a little knob from my radio.
Look
today,
at you
so
go.
I can one-handed drive. Well, I can steer like a normal person with this hand, but then I can steer the back, third.
Hey, is that what these are?
Rear steer. Yeah, did you print those?
No.
Yeah.
But I got a package a while back, and I think it was when I got the Hyrax 1.0s.
Okay.
And these were in there. And they've been sitting on my bench. From? They came from the guys at Proline initially.
Oh, well, they must have molded it.
No, they're 3D printed.
So somebody at Proline made this.
Yeah. So that makes total sense.
But it's on Horizon's Thingiverse page if you have a DX5 Pro.
That's hilarious. And I was just like, I was literally fiddling with them.
They have the convex and the concave?
Yeah.
That's what that is. So you replace your pot knob. It says I knob on there. And I was like, yes, I am a knob.
I knob.
And now you can rear steer with your thumb, throttle, and steer with your other hand. Amazing.
Not
bad at all. That's comping right there, pal.
That might be. I could probably manage that on a. Well, not on this one. There's the knobs on the front on the 4 p.m. Or wait, is this
the knobs right in front of me?
That might be my 4 PV. My 4 p.m. and 7 PX. Gunnar Nissen, thanks, sir. But for those talking about Jerky, there's a hashtag scale Harley or hashtag Harley scale, 10% off coupon on Satisfied Jerky still. So
my coupon code must be lost in the mail.
One scale Harley, that's in Scale Builders Guild and Harley, and the other one is Harley. God, we've had this discussion even.
Sorry, I know we talked about this last week. I was so mad last week at myself.
Oh, I know. You just
for my failures.
You just
in
had
life
a ringing in your ear all night while you talked.
Yeah. I have to say this comment. Is Circa time? Well, there's two things here. Is Circa time based or points? Both.
Yes.
There is a time limit of 6 minutes for 10 gates, and there's a point maximum too, but I don't know what it is. I can't remember.
So it's usually 40 points for a course. And
which is 4 recoveries.
Well, yeah, so
or
yeah,
hand-aided
the
recoveries.
points that you get in comp crawling, to simplify down, a reverse is 1 point. A rollover where you have to grab it by hand and then right it is 5 points. If you hit
what?
5 points.
Okay.
If you hit a gate, that is 10 points. Or if your truck falls in an area or off course and you literally have to, or it rolls in a way that you can't just roll it over, you have to pick it up for any reason or touch it for any reason other than just a rollover, then it's a 10-point penalty and you go back to the previous gate. So,
yep.
And
so you can literally do that all at the first gate.
You can point out before the first gate if it's possible. Now, every gate you get through is -2 points, but those points do not get calculated into your total score until you're done. So if you're at 39 points, but you've made it through 8 gates, you don't get that -16 off. You don't have any. You only have 40 penalty points. And then progress is calculated at the end.
Yep.
So,
and then the next comment that I had to read from Paul Schulman here. I have a ton more fun seeing what lines it can do on the trail rather than having a wiener measure contest. I don't take it that seriously. First of all, I've seen people get so mad they've thrown their truck in the woods.
I've seen people do that when it's not a comp. Like, I mean,
I will be laughing on course more than anything. There will be video evidence to prove that.
Oh, yeah. We will be laughing at Matt from a distance, too. Well, not even that far away.
Yes.
Close enough for him to hear it.
Is winching a point? Yes, Tony.
Crap. Winching also. And winching is a 2-point penalty.
Is it 2?
Yeah, I believe so.
I thought it was 5.
No, it's 2 points.
Is it 2? I'm just going to bring up the rules here.
Do you lose points if you time out, or do you get a DQ? So how that works is that, say you only made it through 2 gates and then you time out. You get 40, you get the maximum amount of points, 40, but they subtract the progress points that you made. So if you made it through 2 gates, that'd be -4. So you take 40 minus 4 and you get a 36. So if you didn't finish, it kind of gives you a measurement of where, if you didn't have any penalty points but still timed out, you still get 40. If you made it to almost the last gate and you took 1 reverse before you made it through, still 40. Like, if you point out or time out, it's 40 points minus your progress.
XWAMTB. I'm definitely murdering that name. The crawl space in Colorado swapped class 3 for class 0.
Yeah, I was going to read that because, and then you interrupted me about something that probably didn't matter. But I was shocked to hear that. For one, with how competitive the Colorado guys are.
David is very scale.
David is very scale. That is true. But I don't mean like
scale.
The crawl space guys. The crawl space guys, Kaika, the owner of the main crawl space, is one of the top drivers in the country if you're going by the results of previous national level events. And he's a dominating driver, and he's super talented in class 3. So I'm shocked to hear that. Beyond just Akaika, I was saying, like, the people in Colorado, they have such a good scene of competition with fairly regular events. Like, there is really good Colorado drivers.
Yes.
Let alone they've got great terrain around, but terrain is one thing that it obviously encourages more people to become drivers, and that it finds good ones. But you don't need awesome terrain to become a good driver. You can become a really good driver.
Well, that's
with some
good.
Handmade stuff.
That's really good to know.
Yeah. It's really
being
you just need to know. You need to know how your truck reacts to everything.
That's right. And that's why practice. I'm talking about practice.
Yeah. You can dodge a wrench, practice, you can dodge a ball.
This is no game. I'm talking about practice.
rocks.
He doesn't know what I'm
I
talking
don't know
about.
what movie you're quoting, but
That's not a movie. That's real life. It's hashtag Scale Harley or Harley Scale for your jerky discounts. So the woods is the place to be at comps then. Yes.
I mean, there's a lot of meetings in the woods, safety meetings generally.
No, I mean they're because of the guy throwing the truck in the woods.
Exactly.
Catch it, stupid truck! It's your fault. Not even Ted Lasso. Ted Lasso ripped it off from a real thing too, Chris.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So, but the competition aspect of it is what? I didn't hear what you said or understand.
Wait, Adam Tevin. Wait, you guys measure your wieners in the woods? Usually it's on the rocks.
Oh my goodness. I
feel if it doesn't make it onto the bumper sticker sheet, I'm making a t-shirt.
You're going to put a scale on it with how many squares? If you do it, just put a row of squares across and be like, you know why.
You know what this is. I'll just photograph my work.
Oh, okay. I was like, photograph your what? Please no.
And after this show, YouTube demonetized us.
Yeah, this is the one that would do it.
Yep, definitely. A tag for Josh's trucks for scale points and his view of the rules. Oh, license plate. FUCM. No, Josh he's going to be well within the rules.
I will be squarely within the rules. Matt is just like parked neatly and perfectly between the lines, and I'm gonna J turn into a parking spot and like look out in the mirror, and be like, close enough.
I was a bit like
Matt squared up to it 3 times. Like pulled him like. He's got like the push button one on the dash. He doesn't even have like a shift. He's like, and he backs up.
No, I use the auto park.
Yeah, I just want to make sure that it's exactly how it would.
Whatever the rules say, that's what I'm doing. I also printed the rear fenders. I wanted to mention. These are not quite wide enough.
Are you gonna scale them?
I'm gonna have to. Can I just scale the height?
Yeah, you can scale in one direction only.
Okay,
just
good.
Just unclick the little lock so that it only scales in one of the axes.
Is that in the slicer I do that?
Yep. Easy peasy.
Good, because I need like this much.
Perfect. Easy. Yep.
Yep. We should ask Nicole how many squares Josh is. Why does my shirt have 3.5 squares? Oh man, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, everybody. This show is over. Go home.
Yeah. Go home, show. You're drunk. Oh my goodness. Now you have to decide where you're going to put the square. You're going to put the squares on the front or on the back. Like, what do you want? Do you want to see it? Do you want to see it coming? Or do you not?
I think it's got to be on the front. Should it be horizontal or vertical?
What's that white spot on your shirt? MEK. Slurry.
Shock oil.
You gotta dodge those every once in a while.
Oh, I haven't done new merch in a long time, so I feel like this could be the one.
This could be.
Small Factory goes, I want a shirt with just one square printed on it. You want the darker shade of gray or the lighter shade of gray? Tetris shade.
Tetris looks to the right.
What a bunch of children we are. Oh my God. RC Manchild, speaking segue. Thanks for the dollar reduce. I put 4.50 Lil Nova foams on KMC Bully wheels with Deep Woods tires. Why do the inner foams move around on the beadlock ring? Tires too wide? Question mark. I don't know that Deep Woods tire off by heart.
Let's see. I mean, if it moves around, you can put some like double-sided tape on the inside of the wheel as an option if you're worried about it. I'm usually not crazy worried about that. But if you are, or you have an extremely wide tire that isn't getting full. The other thing you could do is get the CI tuning discs, which are like a flat outer disc, and you can put it towards the outside or the inside of the tire.
Those usually
and
help.
Those will help fill.
It is a
out.
4.6 inch tire.
Well, they have multiple sizes too.
He's talking about the 1.9s.
Don't they? They have C1 1.9s too.
Yeah, maybe. If it's a 4.6 outer diameter and he's using a 4.5 inch foam,
I mean, that's fairly decent logic.
Yeah, that should be okay. It's probably just the inner foams are always going to move around the inner beadlock ring.
Right. I mean, and like I said, you can throw some double-sided tape in there if you want to if you're worried.
Yeah. If you want to lock it down, then you can do that. Yeah.
So,
do what Josh does.
Yeah.
Don't do what Johnny does.
Brian Sherwood, thanks, sir. I can't beat any of this. The pain. What? No.
Not up or down. Squares should be diagonal.
I'm concerned.
Yeah. Pointy.
I don't want to. I don't want
to. David, the hat. I talked about the hat earlier in the show, so go back and watch towards the beginning. We definitely talked about that.
Baseball.
It's Japanese.
One letter.
Japan.
You'll be just as satisfied knowing those three things as you will as going back and watching. Oh my God.
Oh boy. Recommend a micro servo for dig setup without breaking the bank.
EcoPower 640T from A-Main is decent. Pretty cheap. It's like 65 ounce inches. I think it's like $20 or something like that. I hate micro servos in most cases, but that one is probably about as. I mean, if you want to like go more expensive,
budget friendly.
Yeah, anyway. If you want to go more expensive, they exist. Reef's Micro 99 is one of them.
Reef's Micro 99.
NSDRC has a pretty powerful little guy. And so, other than that, I avoid them when I can. So,
Tony, stop. 2 or 3 squares wide. Stop. Rascal Racing. What about the ARRMA release? I don't know what you're talking about.
Never heard of it.
Nothing happened.
So, yeah. AGF RC. AGF, yeah, they're an OEM for some of the manufacturers as well. But, so yeah. Let's see. What else? I don't even know what else is going on. I have a comp this weekend. I hope to get more video done. Your video, I was happy to see so much of your progress, it made me a little bit concerned. That's fine.
You don't have anything to be concerned about. Did you like the look of that box that I made for the SE?
Yeah, super simple little.
Super simple. It took me a little while because I'm not good.
Yeah.
I had to learn how to make clips and stuff, and
Yeah.
I learned a bunch of new tools on how to like make things like this, though. So I felt like I learned a bunch of stuff, which was good.
Which is funny. Fusion 360, they just put out their new release information yesterday on the upcoming update to Fusion for this month, and they're adding a bunch of like pre-made clip tools, like for plastic clip.
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
Super
I'm
helpful.
glad you learned all those skills. But yeah, the
thanks, Autodesk.
Exactly. My I did not do anything fancy for that. Mine all just kind of sits up here on a little tray that I made, but
oh, that's nice though.
It's a carbon fiber tray that sits across the top of the VFD, which I at least got that fancy.
I'm all of a sudden I'm realizing I'm gonna need to build some interiors. I'm a little bit cagey about that idea. I'm gonna have to see how many points I can get out of C23 before I start busting out the styrene.
I need to start getting a list together and figuring out where I really need to spend the time as well. Because
if I can avoid it,
that's exactly.
I probably will.
Tommy, I'm just kind of use mini servos to shift a Phoenix. Yeah, you can. I've seen a lot of people do it. I've done it.
There's adapters.
And
people make.
We even
adapters.
tested it with those 640Ts from A-Main, and they worked fine. So, torpedo. You guys by chance use any super cheap Hobbywing 1080 ESCs in any of your rigs? I've got a bunch of 1080s. 1080s are a solid ESC for the money. Good solid go-to. I use 1060s if I really want to get cheap on something. But like 1080s, I think
I used a 1080 in the TRX4 budget build.
I used a 1080 in the budget build as well. Nothing in here. Do I have a 1080 in? I've got some 1060s in a couple of things, just like some Tamiya things. But by no means.
We should try that ISDT one.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know when I will. I bet I have 5 new 1080s and 1060s each in that box. I had got a deal on at one point, and I was just like, yeah, I'll take a bunch of those. So I have them for
take a few.
Whatever. But
yeah,
that ISDT 70, the regular retail is going to be like $25. I think right now it's easiest to find them for about $35. But
it's nuts. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's a good budget one. Good first crawler for a beginner. I know the TRX4 is good, but what else should I consider?
SCX2.
Well, yeah, SCX-10-2, Element.
Element's a solid choice.
SCX-10-3 if you really like portals.
They're more scale.
Josh is not as big of a fan. Of the SCX-10-3. It's definitely more of a what'd you say?
It's more scale focused.
Scale? It is more scale focused.
It doesn't drive nearly as nice as an SCX-10-2. Like,
no.
The motor's very high. The portals make it higher. It's a bit kind of. It's got a very detailed and heavy body that sits up there then as well. So it kind of goes, flops around a bunch. But the body, like, I would say maybe with the exception of the TRX4 Bronco, there's nobody that touches their body. As far as
that's true.
They're just right now they're one of the best bodies. Like detail is great,
100%.
Proportions are good, molded details,
decent interior,
interior,
lots of plastic pieces,
and
it looks great. It looks really good if you're into Jeeps. Yeah, you're gonna love it.
So
1080s do not like salt water. I have news for you. No electronics like salt water.
Don't do that.
Don't do that.
But if you're going to do it with a 1080 because they're cheap. Like, don't do it with something good.
Yeah, don't use your RX4. Redline Trail RC, thank you very much. You are cool people. This was my first live show. Keep it up, man. Very fun. Consider that.
You know what? We were going to stop,
No,
but 98, episode 98 coming next week. And thank you for joining
going. Thank you.
Well, there was a question about a little bit back here. Someone said, "Oh yeah, DA law. Have you guys ever 3D printed molds to do forged carbon parts?" Go check the Road to Scale Nationals video series. It will be in there hopefully next week.
Hopefully next week. Kyosho supercharged Dodge Charger. I have one on the way.
There you go. With little
I know
flippy floppy headlight things.
Flippy floppy headlights. Yep. Tony from CCXRC already has one. RC Driver already has one. So if you want to see some early stuff, I think they already have some video content out there. But it looks great. I mean, for a Lexan-bodied phaser, it looks pretty darn good.
Yeah.
Nice little details added for the scale nerd in you. Max Teskey, my SCX-10 that I just purchased has a really loud and annoying click. What could that be? Well, the gears in the transmission, there's one side of them. It's a square cut tab for the pin. The other side, it's a circular tab. And sometimes in production, they get put in improperly.
It's the first two
Flip them
gears.
around. Yeah, it's the first two gears.
Yeah. Not the spur gear, but the next one in.
Yeah. Flip those around. That might help.
I think it's the top one specifically is where that happens. But either way, take a look. So yeah.
Tony just said, I'd wait for Matt's video. He kills it. I usually also put them out a day before they're supposed to come out.
Like, oh, look at that. Who knows? Yeah,
I don't know either.
I'm just trying to think. It's going to be I feel like the events are going to be here before we know it. Like,
dude, I keep looking at the calendar. I go, it's only middle of January. I've got 2 months.
I feel like it's already the end of January. It's like tomorrow's the 20th. I'm like, we're at the end. There's not January's over now. Like January's over.
We have 2 months. We have 2 months before I'm in the car. Before I'm in the car driving to Alabama. Hey.
Yeah. It's scary.
It is a bit scary.
So
this is a lot more scary than I think 2020 was.
And I don't know why.
Timing. I think because that one we had committed earlier.
I don't think so. I think
No.
I think that we were.
You know what? I was probably more relaxed because I was already building the jelly bean.
Ah, that could have been it.
And class 1 was done. And class 3, I was just switching axles.
Yeah.
So probably felt a lot easier.
Is it really 80 days? Ooh.
That doesn't sound like a lot.
It's not, man. Not when you have like real life things in the, like I think Nicole and I have a trip in the middle of that.
I've got a full-time job.
I got one of those too. Like,
it takes up a lot of my time.
Yeah, like, man. So, yeah, that's it's a thing. So, just build it while you drive. Throw the 3D printer in there on an inverter. Don't turn off the car.
It's gonna be really hard to fill it up with gas.
You can let them run. That's just one of those stickers.
Mail call yet? Yes, we did mail.
It wasn't all that.
It was a short mail call.
There wasn't
this
a
week.
ton.
It was a pretty uninspired.
I have
mail
one other
call.
thing, but it's like camera gear stuff that's not very interesting.
Boring.
Getting rid of a tripod on the ground.
I really like the overhead setup for build videos. That is fun.
Yeah, I should use my overhead more.
It's a pain in the butt for me to set it up, but I do it.
Mine's permanent. I just need to use it more.
Yeah. I don't know. That camera you've been trying to use sucks.
Honestly, I don't think it's the camera. I think that I've got a faulty capture card, and that's probably my issue. So, one of those.
This new computer doesn't have space for that. There's no expansion.
Oh yes, exactly. So all of your
they're tiny,
external USB'd in.
They're all USB'd in.
Oh, and then you
even
can't
with that.
Yeah, you can't add a USB card for more lanes or anything.
No, and that's the thing. I had to be sure that the card that I was using had at least 2 lanes so I could get 2 1080 signals in.
Right.
We're good. Jesse just goes, Matt, you need an intern for your day job and have them do all the sanding for you.
Yeah.
All right.
This is just don't worry about this project. This is for a project you'll see.
The first thing you need to learn about editing is sanding. Really? Yeah. Whatever you learned in school, unlearn.
Listen,
that. We're starting from scratch.
The real world's where you learn the things that matter, and that is.
Speaking of, we're also learning how to scratch build. Yeah. But is this about editing? Are you building things? Yes.
Here's a good question. Matt and Josh, do you guys use price effective servos since you guys do so many builds like Amazon servos?
No.
I don't.
Well, yes. I used them in the super scale build
when you were putting,
because I needed 4 cheap servos.
I have as well for like Tamiya builds and things like that, where I'm using, I'm throwing in it doesn't matter. So I
right, like in a Tamiya build, I will use a takeoff servo. So if I got an RTR and I'm upgrading that, which I generally always do, the takeoffs go into those builds. But do I buy the cheap basic stuff? Not usually.
I do buy some. Like I'll buy Eco Power from A-Main, the 110Ts. They're super cheap. And I usually buy a handful of those, but just for like things like a Tamiya build or something like that. Beyond that, if it's for a truck that I'm like a rock truck of any sort like you see here, and I know I'm going to drive it, I want enough power to move the rocks. Like,
yes.
Once you just like, I used to be like, like 300 ounce inches or nothing, or no less than that. And now I'm just like 600 ounce inches or
600.
Nothing. Like, I mean, honestly, at this point, it's just like, if it doesn't have 600 ounce inches, I'm like, nah, I want it. When I turn the steering wheel, I want it to turn. Like,
yep.
So,
oh, DK, you have a question about blizzards? All right.
Is Toyota or Kyosho?
Kyosho. One moment. Just getting it down.
Well, Matt,
so we can all look at it.
Jesse brought up the HK servo. I did pick up some of those. I talked about those in the news. HK Hobbies popped up. They have like basically cheapy servos, kind of $35, but they're direct power 2 to 4S. So high power, but like $35. The direct power stuff, it's just like I did pick up some of those for those, like, I just want to put something in there. But, right. So ounce inches matter. Exactly. So yeah, it was like I'm pretty interested in this. HK Hobbies is those. So I think I put one in that scattergun chassis that I swapped that honcho into. HK, not Hobby King. Did. No, it's HK Hobbies. Hobby King. It's not Hobby King on the state. It's actually a new company.
It's HK.
It's stateside. So, yep. Anyway, so now let's see your snowmobile.
Okay. So DK wanted to know, what was his question? If I wanted to upgrade ESCs, how would I do that since there's 2? Well, I'm pretty sure what you do
is you put 2
is you change. Yeah, I didn't swap them out. I left them as is. Nothing has changed there. What I did was I did the mixing different on the radio. So what you're telling it, because in the original radio, it's like, an old stick radio. So, forward, reverse is on one and turning is on the other. And what the ESC is basically doing is it's saying, or the transmitter is saying to the ESC, as I'm going forward, put more power left or more power right. But all you have to do is program your radio to do those things with mixing. And you could just swap out this ESC for a Sabertooth, which is designed specifically for this purpose.
There is. Interesting. How much does the
there is a whole
cost?
I think it's like $100.
So you could probably throw in two 1060s cheaper.
Yeah, but that's not. Yeah, I mean, you just keep using. Yeah, but you can just keep using the stock ESCs.
Sure, but like my Blizzard, I blew up an ESC. So.
Right, because you don't know how to drive.
Because I use all of the throttle range.
Yeah, throttle on or off.
No, I just use all of it at some point.
Did you run it in snow or did you run it in California heat?
Snow. Thank you.
Anyway, it's all in the mixing on the radio. And I feel like I should have done a episode on that. Maybe I didn't.
You did not.
I feel like I talked about this.
You might have done. Maybe you did it on the bench.
Maybe it was on the bench. But yeah, you can change the mixing. You have to use a classy radio. You cannot use there has to be like a mixing specific function on your radio in order to handle it. The DX5 Pro was definitely one of them. I'm sure any Futaba radio will do it too. But it's basically saying that steering is a function of throttle.
Right.
Or is it the other way around? No, it's that way. So throttle is just on, but steering becomes a function of that throttle. Yep. So left, less right throttle. Right, more left, less left throttle. I don't know. But yes. I also put lights in it. So it's got lights.
Also put lights in it. Makes
now I can drive it at night.
in your house slippers on the deck.
Snow. Yeah, I should actually take it out tonight. And take it out mean just sit in my back room, just watch it drive around the backyard. But it's great. Mixing.
So yeah, exactly. My Blizzard. Where did my Blizzard go? I think I have I have the regular Blizzard here. My Trail King, which is the Blizzard without the plow, is at Phoenix's place. So
yeah, this is true. Dana said in mixing you need a radio that can run two mixes at the same time. The DX5 Rugged does not have enough mixing capability to do it. That's why it's on the 5 Pro.
Which I've had walked someone through that before because they had a situation where they couldn't. You can technically do it without, but you just can't turn left at full throttle. So like if you just mix it all into one side, then you can get the more or less on one track so that it will do it. But then once you hit full throttle, you won't be able to turn. You'll be able to turn right but no left. So you have to back off. But it worked. If you only have one mix, you can get by.
Yeah.
So
So Sabertooth, if cheap radio, but fancy radio with mixing allows the ESCs that are in there or any other ESCs. Yes.
So
correct.
There you go.
Glad we answered that. Glad we got to talk about a tracked vehicle twice tonight.
Yeah, a super popular one.
Yes.
The
Blizzard is super popular.
I just wish that it was still like 540 motors. The 380s are a little lacking.
Man, Tim, Small Factory, he did a full he did a fully modded out single motor screamer. Like this thing just ripped. And I wanted to buy it so badly, and then he sold it to somebody else.
Yeah. So,
yeah. That's right. My wife did troll me clearing the snow with the Blizzard last winter.
Or just use a twin stick like God intended. Now, I changed mine out because I went to go shoot a video, and I'm like, I can't film and use a twin stick. I'd have to like put it in my mouth.
I had to
like Stephen
I had
Hawking,
to
just
do tripod style video to shoot the Blizzard the last time, and I was like, nope, not doing that again.
Doing it.
That's why I swapped it out so I could shoot normal video with it.
Same reason I did. But
hey, can we talk about tow out for a minute?
Sure.
Are you a fan of towing out?
No. I mean, if anything,
tell me why.
I will usually do a little bit of tow in.
Oh.
But
interesting.
The reason that I don't like tow out is generally when you steer, this tire, the inside tire, is the one that hits first. It'll hit the link in there. So when you tow out, you're already starting that tire towards that direction. So you're going to hit that link basically earlier, and then this one's going to be further out. So to me, I've always looked at it like it's reducing the amount of steering angle that I'm able to get. Now, the conversation about Ackerman and all that, that's a whole nother thing, because in an off-road truck, you're not talking about equal traction all over. So I don't honestly even give any concern to Ackerman in these type of trucks. So I want my tires to be turned as much as possible at any angle. So if this one's hitting, I want this one to be even more if it has room. And for that reason, that's why, if any, normally I run straight, but if I run anything, it's a little bit of tow in. There's my reasoning.
All right, cool.
Tell me why you were asking.
Because I was considering running some tow out for my Class 2 truck.
How come? What was your thought?
I got the impression from some people that I've spoken to that it actually does afford you a little more, like a slightly tighter radius.
I can't think of why that would be true.
Okay.
I can't think of the reasoning where that would become the true statement, but I'm not saying that. For trailing, no, but for crawling, a little bit helps. For what, tow out, or why would tow out help you with crawling? I don't see how that would be true either. But
I'm just curious because I'm trying to squeeze whatever performance advantages I can.
So yeah, I mean, that is why I say tow in. The thought of like, whenever someone tries to make an argument about like, I like, like Ackerman is important or just anything like that, I'm like, well, if you're talking about a street car on pavement, I understand. If you start talking about that with rock crawling, where you're hanging a tire and you're hoping everything on the traction that one tire may have at times, like none of that matters. You just need it to do the maximum amount of effort and control that you're asking it to do, whether that's steering angle or grip or whatever. As far as tow in or tow out affecting traction while crawling, I can't see it. So the only reason I look
a lot of guys are saying it's either only useful at high speed, or two-wheel drive. They also think it could also help just catch things because you just got a little extra tow out on the tire. But I don't know.
I can't see how that would be the case. Better side hilling on tow out and bites better on turning. It does help. I don't see how that would have any effect on a flat surface. Maybe and that doing a shootout or what, you can't really shootouts. There's to remove all the variables.
It's impossible.
Yeah.
Anytime
So
there's
they're
a comparison
doing
video,
this side
they're
by
never
side.
the
I'm like,
same.
well, there's 100 flaws in everything that you're doing. It's just like, okay, any of the top 10 are like this versus that. I'm just like, it honestly, like I won't do them just because I can't eliminate the things, and I think that I can't look past that. And I think that when people do that, I'm just like, it's so full.
I
of
always
holes.
feel like no matter even if I got it absolutely 100% perfect, driver error is the biggest thing.
Yeah.
Like it's impossible to repeat that. And the way in which you drive a truck is also very hard to repeat from one truck to the next. But ultimately, I think I don't do that style of video because I think I would always there would always be some sort of bias.
There's always that. You can say
You know?
there isn't, but yeah, like you're saying, like just the difference of a driver. I don't care if you've done the same thing 100 times, it's never the same. So
Yeah.
it's sometimes there's just clear differences, and that's enough. But it's hard,
Yeah.
So yeah, toe in. It's what we run on full size comp buggies to help push the tires into rocks, and helps when you're doing vertical climbs to pull up. I can see that more on a full size buggy, especially with like the amount of weight and things like that we see used in those. And I can see what they're saying with trying to pull up because it's trying to push everything into itself. But even out, I could see a little bit of that same effect, like it's just kind of pulling itself. But the full size physics versus RC physics is a whole different world as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I use toe in just because I can get, if I use any, it's just so I can get more angle.
That's fair.
So I can't drive.
Thanks
Craig,
for your
he
opinion.
says I can't drive a crawler without toe out. It makes the truck too neutral if it doesn't have toe out. Okay. You must be driving on perfectly even sandpaper for that to be a true story. Like the differences in any terrain. There's no, like, unless you're driving at 50 miles an hour or on sandpaper, like on a sheet of plywood.
Too much toe talk. Thought this was Reddit/feet for a minute.
Hell, Billy,
Oh,
thank you,
man.
sir. Matt, do you have an update on the bobbed new Bronco? And Josh, what happened to your squatted F450? Bobbed new, were you? Oh, that's right. You did start the cut up that Bronco for your gatekeeper.
Oh, for the fun haver. Yeah, I was never going to bob it though.
Gotcha.
It's just chopping the body to fit. What I was trying to do was chop the body to fit the cage of the gatekeeper, which is stupid. So now I'm making my own cage to fit the body.
Right.
It's a lot
Once
smarter.
you end up
but
having time.
That build is on hold indefinitely.
Yeah. Agreed.
I still have the final episode of the mud truck to do, but there is 30 plus inches of snow on the ground. So that won't be happening anytime soon either.
And
how much do your go ahead. Sorry.
As far as the squatted F450, it is exactly as you saw it last. Because there is no point to that truck. There was no point to do what I did to that truck.
That's true.
I have no idea what will ever happen to that truck. Do you want it?
There is no point to that truck.
Nothing matters.
Nothing matters. Kevin Nugent, great point. Go with what you have confidence in. Otherwise, it'll be nagging you on the course. That's the problem, though, Kevin. Whatever I do, I'll feel like the opposite would have been the better thing. At the end of this, I'll go, you know what? I should have gotten toe out.
Yeah, exactly. You'd be like, that guy said he pulled that line with 2 degrees of toe out. Like, I bet that was it. Like, no, the toe out had zero
that was
effect.
It for sure. Okay, next question. So my truck right now was like 6.3 pounds for class 2 with no body. How much does your truck weigh?
I have a scale.
Okay.
Let's see.
Yeah, Jesse, you want to see my Oaken Shield? Yeah, one sec.
cell block
It's just under my...
tear. So this truck is... It'd be RTR if I put a body on it, right? Well, other than a battery. Do I have the battery here? I don't have it handy. Okay, so no battery, RTR, 5 pounds, 8 ounces.
Oh, okay. My truck is
Now,
heavy.
I'm missing a lot of things as far as what this will be by the time it is comp ready. As far as, I don't have sliders or an interior, any scale points right now. So, now there is, you know, yeah. But beyond that, this is electronics are complete, winch, there's weight, there's additional weight in the front. But
I wonder if I put too much weight on.
Quote unquote hard body. So, yeah.
Okay.
So.
Nice body.
Right.
Nice body.
Here, this gives you an idea of where the slanted.
No
skid,
drop bed points though.
Not with this one. You're correct. Not yet, unless I cut a big old hole in it, which could happen. You can tell the angle of the skid by how this thing is sitting.
It sits quite angular.
It's sitting angular because it's sitting flat on the skid rather than now.
Yeah, mine does that too. Can't remember how it goes here. Yeah, it tends to do the reverse Carolina lead.
Gozer? Is that what you said? I didn't hear you.
I didn't intentionally say gozer.
I was thinking about changing up my class 2 body plans.
Oh my god. Are you doing a... No, you're going to run that carbon fiber
until they
body.
just released that Gozer.
You're not putting a Gozer body on it.
You're
not going backwards.
I mean, I'm just saying, like
scale points can get away from you.
I'm just thinking about
weight wise.
Yeah, I want a Goza with everybody else. Like,
how many Gozers do you think we'll see at scale mats?
Oh God, that's 0. My only concern. It's just like it's going to be the new Power Wagon. It's just going to be just Gozers everywhere.
Everyone's going to be printing those cages at home on their FDM printers.
I can't. I just don't know if I can join the crowd. I'm not.
I would absolutely love to see you run a Gozer.
I'd consider
do it in class 3. Do it in class 3.
I'd consider it.
Can't believe
I mean, okay.
I make a whole lot of room for a foam interior, said Destin.
I poke some fun at J Concepts on occasion. I don't think that it's unfounded or unreasonable, the things that I say. But just answer me. Like, legitimately, when they finish any of these latest projects, right?
Yeah.
They finish it, and they're like, all right, it's ready. Do they go like, this is gonna sell like hotcakes? Like,
this is the one.
Do they?
Do you think?
Do they, or do they just go like, just get it done, just put it up? Like, I know that dickhead on the news. Like, I get it. Don't worry about him. Like that guy's an asshole. Like,
he's never liked any of us. He's never been nice.
Like,
he's never said a nice thing about even our good bodies. Which ones are those? Don't worry about that right now.
Like,
but this is the one.
Why is the cage isn't molded and included? Head shake. I thought that it was too, and I was just like, okay.
That's not their style.
It was in every photo though.
Yeah, because they want you to download the file.
No, it's not. It's a Shapeways only.
What?
Yes.
Oh,
It says on their website. I don't know. Maybe it's on their Thingiverse. Someone go double check. Fact check me, please.
Fact check this one. Please.
Go on to the J Concepts website. Let them know that Harley Designs sent you. I so badly, because I honestly, like I said in the news, I don't hate it for some weird reason. I hated it as a monster truck body. I thought it was the dumb, even though it is a monster truck body. It's that Brodozer.
I actually liked it as a monster truck.
I was like,
body.
it's the Brodozer. Like kind of. Then I saw it on that truck, and I'm just like, I don't hate it.
Can you? Here's my question though. Do you think that when they're sitting there, and they're talking, and they're like, how many do you think we should make right out of the gate? Do they go, well, let's start conservatively with 1,000?
Yeah, I mean,
or do they go, well, I mean, you know, I know, like, this thing's ugly. Let's do 20.
Do they, or do they not? Like, I want to know these things. I just
$65 on Shapeways. Holy hell!
Oh, for Shapeways print, like Shapeways stuff is not strong.
It's less strong than some prints you could do at home.
Yeah, possibly, but it's all. I mean, it's just like, especially compared to like,
depending.
If it was injection molded, okay,
fine, but still $65.
If it was $65 for the body with the injection molded cage, like, okay, it's about right.
Yep. Yes, that's
Shapeways only.
US
Thank you for checking.
That's a mistake.
And that's $65 for the cage only. What is shipping? Someone go to check out through there. I bet you're not going to get that cage to your front door for less than $80 for a 3D printed cage for that thing.
Coming in February from J Concepts, the next scale body. We call it debit card.
I wonder how soon that body's going to be available. I'm buying it.
If you buy it, I'll paint it for you, and you have to run it at Nats.
Oh, I'm shipping it. I'm buying two then. I'm going to ship one directly to you.
Oh, the paint job's going to be so shit, too, because it's so cold here. That paint is just going to flake right off. I'm going to do a J Concepts sponsored driver livery.
That was what I was just saying. After doing that story, I was just going to go like right into it. Like, this episode of Scale News Update brought to you by J Concept. And then just super dead serious about it.
And then just rip one. Just rip them a new one.
I was going to say I really liked it and then do that and not even just act like an absolute sellout.
I friggin' love it, guys.
Like, I know I've said some things in the past, but I think this is the one. Like,
once you see it in person, guys, the Lloyd really is awesome.
You know, the roof line, it's just the angle of that photo. So
it's a lot, leaves a lot to be desired. But I'm glad I saw it in person. Paint it. Yeah, actually, you know what, DK? That's not a bad idea. If he buys it and I paint it and he has to use it at Nationals.
If you paint squares across it, I'm going to be so mad.
I'm going to paint it with the heaviest latex paint I can find from Home Depot. I'm going to add to like 8 pounds of paint. I'll turn it over, fill it up with paint, and just leave it. Here you go.
I hope that you have this special idea and you drive that thing down and it tips over in the back of your Jeep. Moosejaw says, in the description of the Gozer, it says, or for the cage, please be aware, this is mostly for decoration and will not withstand abuse from crashing and incidents.
Why?
Flex Seal spray. This could be the Flex Seal truck. This could be the Flex Seal spot.
There's a lot of surface area for logos.
4 doors for more scale points.
You get more points for that?
Yeah.
No, you don't.
Yeah. For when you put the interior with 4 seats.
Well, you got to put the interior in. That's all you.
I mean, you've seen me.
DK goes, you know, the J Concepts guys were watching this episode, just hoping for the first nice thing to be said about one of their products on this live. And y'all go and do this.
I liked it. I got to see how soon. Is it available now?
February, it ships.
February? I mean, it's already February, we said. So I'm gonna send an email. Dear Mr. Concepts.
Dear Mr. J.
Can I call you Jay? Feel like we know each other. $78.41 shipped to Arthur Estridge is what that cage costs. A-Mate says in stock. Oh, I've never shopped live on this particular television pro. Oh, I bet he's seeing the monster truck one.
That's the monster truck.
He is. That's the monster truck version. This one, that's a 12.5 wheelbase, which is barely different. Is that really the only 12.5 versus 12.3? It's probably the same goddamn body with a slightly different trim line.
In fact, I bet you it's got 2 trim lines already molded into it.
No, they probably modified it. They're just like, yo, we still have all those original ones. Like, we're probably never going to need this mold again. You just want to scuff in a new mark. Like,
we still have 998 Gozer bodies.
We sent one to A-Man for them to take a photo of. Now what? A-Man still has the one in stock.
You mean they didn't place an order? This is terrible. We're never... You know what? One of these days, J Concepts is going to do a kick-ass body. And we're both going to be eating our hats.
Hey, I have J Concepts bodies. I've used them. One of my favorite builds used one.
Hey, I've got 2 sets of their tires.
I've got their tires on my class too. I'm fair.
I've got another set of them somewhere. Where did the bigger ones go? I thought I got a set of one. Oops,
I got the landmines on my class too.
I got a set of 1.9s around here somewhere.
So
maybe I didn't. Oh, I had Scorpios. What am I talking about?
Those are still, yeah, that's them.
That's a tire, yeah. I don't have them anymore. They were terrible.
These landmines, I can vouch for. Great tires.
Yeah, good tire for sure. I've got those, and I've got the what are the other ones?
The round ones?
Yeah, they're rounder. Oh, God.
Husk, Tunk,
Tusk, Tranks.
What did I say? Tusk or Hunk?
Tusk.
Yeah, I said Husk or Tunk. No, I said Husk or Tunk.
Go Huskers.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a good-looking tire. I think this has got potential.
It's a terrible-looking tire. I have it as well, but it looks like a Mickey Thompson Baja Pro X or something like that. Which is
there might not be enough lugs spacing. Now that I look at it again. It's class 1.
Yeah,
Nobody cares about that.
J Concepts modified. Yeah, I know what it originally came off of. I know exactly where the model for that thing came from. Doesn't make it a good idea. Like, you could buy a monster truck that looks like a dog too, but you don't see the scale trail version of it waddling around.
Oh, I wish that they would do the
Samson.
You know,
oh my God. I can see now Tony driving around punching people in the ankles in his VS410. Like, look at this. RC Patina guy painted this. Like,
pow, pow.
he's just running around punching people. Pow, pow. Like, God damn it, Tony!
What'd you say about this body?
Monster truck.
Did anybody catch how I referred to beef tubes in my video?
The veiniest name in or veiniest logo in RC or something.
The veiniest logo in RC. It's Dan. I'm sure he's not watching, but if he is, this has been a long-standing joke for me. This logo.
It's awful. It's now. You also said that like he was the originator. He was like the third or fourth person to copy that type of tube. So
yeah, well, he's the guy who's selling the most of them. How
he
about
is that? I will say, agreed. Yeah. But yeah, Gunner tubes were the first one made by a guy named Gunner.
And then he got into the Jerky
right?
game,
Exactly.
So
An OG. And then there was RC Bros Burley tubes, beef tubes.
Mm-hmm. But let's be honest, beef tubes and that logo really capitalized on what those things do.
Yeah. Didn't Dan sell beef tubes? No, he was trying to. I don't think.
Yeah, he was trying to. I think he's fine to not sell it now.
So
maybe he's not. I don't know.
He was going to put it up for sale again, but he got banned from Facebook again. So
I think that happens on a daily basis.
Is the monster truck Gozer body the exact same as the crawler body? I do not believe so.
We all know the original concept art wasn't ARRMA's.
Yeah, exactly. He downloaded some clip art and went, we can work with that.
Yeah, those look like ARRMA's.
Make it 2 squares wide.
Okay. All right. That's enough. We got to end this show.
Please. I appreciate you all for watching a ridiculous
thank you very much, everybody.
Episode. Thanks to Team Garage Hack, Buck Dandy, Squints Palladors, Gunner Nissen, Brian Sherwood, Hell Billy, Buck Dandy.
Thanks to Gunner Nissen, RC Manchild, and Redline Trail RC. Thanks, guys.
Much appreciated. 97 weeks in a like. These had to average 2 hours. Like, I don't think we've very rarely done anything under 2 hours.
Yeah,
that's.
So he's been
I mean, that's
a lot. I can't even do the math.
194 hours.
My brain doesn't
If you
work.
watched these solid,
Good Lord.
If you watched every episode solid, never slept, it would take you over a week. Just saying.
That's amazing.
That's a
lot. That's a lot.
Hit the like button on the way out. I agree.
Much appreciated. Yeah, hit the like button. Please do.
The lever. Pull the button.
And are you building on Friday?
Yeah, because I've got to get my Class 2 ready to go comping.
Oh, boy.
So, that's the...
I hope you don't break. Oh, Blind Guy RC with the last minute there. Thank you very much. Wait, trucks look great. Thank you, sir.
Thanks, sir. Yeah, I doubt I'll break. Although, I do want to do an axle swap still. So, maybe I could do that before the comp just to make things complicated.
There you go. Are you F10ing it?
Because I've got a custom rear axle I'm building, which I'll get into next week. So, anyway.
Oh, which is super exciting. Yes. I've already seen.
Thank you. We'll see you guys later. Appreciate it. Bye.
Love you. Bye.